back to our channel. It's your girl Tiana
and Tony,
and we're back with another video. So in today's video we're going to be doing 11 things parents say to their LGBT children. So this was inspired by a fellow YouTuber, John Carr Gang. I saw them make a video about 11 or 15 things that parents say to their children, right? So we thought we didn't want to do 15 but we only came up with 11. So it's 11 things that parents say to their LGBT children. Okay. The first one: God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Or not Eve and Eva, or something like that.
So if God made Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve, so who made Steve?
Who make Eva?
We always get that. My mother always used to say that to me. God make Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve.
My mother never
who
said
made
that
Steve?
to me still, but
I can make Steve too. Oh, alright. It's just a phase you're going through.
Yeah, my mother tell me that. And I guess I'm still going through that phase.
The phase that lasts very long, my friend. Some people, I go through the phase and then young till they're old. How can I phase that? How long is there an estimated period that a phase must last?
I guess not.
Maybe not. Number 3.
You haven't found the right man.
Yet. You haven't found the right man yet. Anybody ever get Anybody ever get that? Because, well, I know maybe not for true, because I've been there, done all that, and still, so I don't know. Number 4. You're nasty. Nasty for the what? Because I always say the same things that LGBT people do, straight people do them too, right? Just like and every LGBT person, like ORAL, SEX are the same thing with LGBT people. Not everybody does it. A lot of people think that it's a rite of passage that if you're LGBT you must do this and you must do that. There's no must in anything. Being is just who you are attracted to. It's not defined by what you do in the relationship, because heterosexual couples do all sorts of something. Everything wanna think. Let us use our imaginations here. We don't have to talk everything by internet, but just think about it. Everything that you think a heterosexual couple does or do, LGBT people do it too, and vice versa. So there's nothing written in stone and say, oh, I just, you understand? Next thing, number 5. You're flying up in God's face. How you do that?
By being yourself, I guess.
You have wing or you fly up in a God's face? I don't know, but a lot of people don't understand that God make all the way.
True.
And there's a verse in the Bible, I wrote it down here, that says, before you were formed in your mother's womb, he knew you. So before even your mother born, before your father born, God didn't know you. That makes sense?
And he know how you
that makes sense?
He know you inside and out. So
he knew me before my mother even born, before my mother even knows she should have me. God knew me.
And it's I make you stay there.
So how? I'm not gonna say it in these ways that God made me to stay this way. I'm gonna say God created all of we have our differences, you understand, and some similarities. So why is it that me I fly up in a God face? When I understand, I know say probably one of a few people are gonna bash for this, but why? Before I was formed in my mother's womb, God knew me, and him still make me come here. Him still allow it to happen. My mother could have had an abortion. My mother could have had a miscarriage. So how you explain that? So somebody who know God, who's been talking to God lately, comment down below and let us know how that happened, you know. The next thing, number 5.
It's not natural.
It's not natural. So what's natural?
But them say it's not natural and it's against nature, but even nature itself. Cause when you talk about nature, you talk about plants, you talk about animal, and in the in the animal kingdom, you have female attracted to female, you have female and female, you have male and male, even in the animal world. So I mean, how can you explain to me that it's not natural if even the animals is inside the animals? And people that say, like, I said that to one person already, and the response was the animal mimic what we do. That them said to me. So I mean, maybe somebody
That
can
makes
explain
sense.
that. Let me say whatever the animal, whatever we do, the animal mimics.
Let me read on. You're living a life of sin.
Well,
You're
I'm loving
living
it.
a life of sin. And I think that is relative. On whose account am I living a life of sin? What about persons who don't believe in God? We believe in God, you know. Don't get me wrong. But what about those persons? Are we invalidating them? I'm not bashing anyone. Everybody have a reason to believe what they believe. You understand? Some of us were told what to believe. Some of us go through the motion and find out who want to find out and know what we believe. You understand? I forgive everybody. Them stick a rope for do what them do. You get what I say? So to say that you're living a life of sin. If you overeat, if you eat too much, you sin. If you oversleep, anything that you do in excess is a sin. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that if me go pig out my sin? How is it that nobody talks about that?
If you go pig out?
Yeah, me eat a whole heap of food.
Oh.
If I overeat, if I eat until I'm uncomfortable, it is a sin. If you lust, if you sit down at the side, lust after 10, right now you're a sin. You know that?
I'm always sinning.
So it's some simple something make you sin, you know? So when I say you're living a life of sin, all the way, baby, all the way. There's none righteous among us, not one. The Bible said that. So all who holy and sanctimonious, none of them are righteous. No matter how holy you be, no matter how you just don't pray, you're not righteous. Because if you right now you're watching the video and you get some negative thoughts in your head as a Christian, you're already a sin. Because you're not. What would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? Think negatively about your sister or your brother? Would Jesus do that? Or Jesus would have prayed? Back in the Bible, when the people chastise Jesus and I do this and do that, him still a pray for them. And when him hang up up on the cross, so him when him say, what were his last words?
Forgive them for
when him dip on the cross, hang up so.
Forgive them for they know not what
because they know not. When them a kill him. And we also say we are proclaim Christianity. We do, no, it's a different topic we're going to. But it's, you get the point, you get the gist. You don't see nobody else in the family will stay so.
Well, the one don't go for me because I will leap in my family still.
Well, for me, I think I have two relatives. Two relatives were out. Because you can have persons who are part of the community, but because of the fear of ridicule and everything will come with it, them just stay in them lane, stay in the shadows, stay in the closet, stay behind closed doors. So, but I don't think it's hereditary. I don't think you can inherit being LGBT.
You can't inherit being straight
because
either, so, I mean,
I always said this, I was born to straight parents. And I don't see anybody in my immediate family that is LGBT. Nobody. And like some can say, oh, my sister this, or oh, my cousin that, or oh, and because of that, before me even find out about one of my cousins them made it already out. You understand? And I mean, let's just not even go there. I don't think it has anything to do with seeing, because if you have feelings for this, there's nothing you can do if you have feelings for something else. It's not gonna be natural. So that is not gonna be natural. You understand? No matter how you try, if you say, oh God, I'm straight, because this is what, you know, society says and this, that, it's not gonna work. Take it from me, I've done it several times over. And look at me now, doing my own thing. Next thing is
2-pot cover can knock.
2-pot cover.
Well, you can't knock, can knock. You can knock 2-pot cover.
2-pot cover can knock. 2-pot cover can knock. And I think, you know, I think it's an insult to persons who are barren and persons who are. I always forget with the man we can't when on a sperm. Have low sperm count.
Enoch.
No, Enoch.
Eunuch.
Enoch have people who say that them hours. What do you see this? I don't remember. But them say 2-pot cover cannot because they mean for say 2 women cannot produce, 2 men cannot produce. You understand? Because I think people believe that
2 men can produce now. A cis man and a trans man.
I think what people believe is that our sole purpose on earth is to reproduce, even though God did say they must Adam and Eve must be fruitful and multiply. That was not our sole purpose. Our sole purpose is not to produce. Our sole purpose was to worship God. But I'm going to go down my Bible, you know, oops. Our sole purpose was to worship God, whatever that meant. Understand? Not to produce. And what about persons who cannot produce? Not that they don't want to, but they can't. How about that? Or what? There are some persons that cannot produce because they're barren. They were made that way by God. How do you explain those people? And then you have persons who choose not to have any children. Is it that they're invalid because they don't want to have children?
Yep, that's what I must say. I
don't understand. And if that is the case, then 2 lesbian women can choose not to want to have children too. Or 2 gay men. Understand? Or a cis woman and a trans man can choose not to want to have children. Not that that's our case. We want to have children. We don't know how we're going to do it yet, but we want to have children. And alright, fine. Look at all the children that are in state care. I know, and the LGBT people make them, and I always say that. So it's like a lot of argument. There are a lot of arguments out there, and some of them just so invalid. Some of them just don't make no sense, and you can't justify much of them. Many of them you can't justify. Look at all of the people when they're in a state care. How did they get there? A cis man and cis woman give birth to them, and they're there for whatever reason. So I don't like when people make it look like, so, oh, because you're not cisgender or you're not heterosexual, you're invalid. Sometimes some LGBT parents are better than heterosexual parents, let me tell you. Yeah. Because we know what we went through as young people, especially if we came out early to our family and friends and whatever. We know the ridicule that we face, and we don't judge our children. We are more understanding, I think, because we know what it feels like to not have that, to not have parents that understand us. So we are more understanding to our children and the situations that they face. The next one, where you get out of that, you would be surprised to know. You understand? Just like, oh, a cis man can bring pleasure to a cis woman and vice versa. A trans man can bring pleasure to a cis woman and vice versa. And a trans woman can bring pleasure to a cis man and vice versa. All of the ursa. Maybe something, just because something is not for you doesn't mean it's not valid. You understand? Not because you have some men that they might have sex until God come, but they're not kissing you, because kissing is not their thing. They don't like kiss. Okay? And they have some people who love kiss. They want to kiss for hours and not touch you. People are different, and we need to learn to understand that people are different. Everybody could not be like you. Everybody could not be like me. Can you imagine? Get up every man and look around and be a me, I see. Everybody look like me. Everybody look like you. Everybody look like Tony. That would have boring. Dynamic is the order of the day. Dynamics is the order of the day. We're different. That is what makes us work together. Because you are good at something that I'm not good at, and so me use you for do this because I know you're good at that, or you use me for do this, and we exchange with barter with services. You understand? Barter. Next point, we trade. use your own spoon and fork.
My mother did tell me that. My mother tell me say me forget my own plate and spoon and fork and everything because I currently clear she don't want eat from me. My mother did tell me that one time.
Can you imagine that? If you can eat from somebody that has HIV because it's not transmitted through a fork and spoon, oh, you get someone say you can't eat from me. You know what the straight people ever do it for them out? And as I tell you, whatever LGBT people do, straight people can do it too. There's nothing in stone that say these are the things that LGBT people do and these are the things that straight people and them don't intertwine. Oh, trust me, baby, them intertwine more than you know, because as I said, a lot of persons will not come out and state that they do this and do that because they're afraid of what society might think of them and what people, and the stigma that is attached. So you might think that, oh, yes, you said them your brother them straight and this and that because you've never seen them with the same sex. But trust me, baby, trust me, a lot of persons don't come out because they're scared of what is out there. Them feel safer in the closet and so they stay there. Yeah, so with us, my message to everyone is just let us just love and just let people be. You know, make sense. I can't say what about who LGBT and who straight and who this, who that. You know, a lot of persons after they learn that I'm LGBT, they're like, but you know, sure, it's just for persons who, based on how they dress or how they present, that makes it obvious that they're LGBT. But for me, when people find out that I'm LGBT, people who not really like LGBT, people who talk negative about LGBT people in my presence, when they find out that I am LGBT, they're like. I say, yeah. I say some of us don't have a look. Some of us are the nicest of the people on God earth. But because of the stigma, because of what how society labels us, people just have way off. But that's okay. Let's just not go there. We don't want to be there too long. So, reach the end of our video. That's 11 things that people or our parents say to LGBT children. Thank you so much for watching until this point. Big shout out to Taya. We had a live earlier and Taya was on our live. Big up to you. Also Shori Sue, Sweet Shori Sue, Sky Diamond, everybody that was on our live with us. We just want to say thank you for coming out and we hope to see you on our next live. Until next time, this is Tiana and Tony signing out.
No, before the battery did.